What do you make of US President Trump's willingness to use tariffs as a tool to push for a ceasefire between Thailand and Cambodia?
Well, he loves tariffs. He thinks it's the magic weapon of that can be used on anything. It seems, but I mean, look, people use whatever leverage you can, I suppose, to try to end conflict. In the past, we've used political means, and this president in the United States decides to use economic means, assuming that is good leverage on these countries if they care in the middle of tariff negotiations to put their economic interests above some of these very deep-seated national issues.
Well, this part of the world is a place that China is very interested in. It's sort of in their backyard. What do you make of US intervention and its significance for the region and maybe even for Taiwan?
Well, I mean, the United States has always intervened on issues in quiet ways. Typically, I think President Trump tends to take a much more bombastic approach to things. So he took full credit for this, which I think is too much. But quiet diplomacy, phone calls to leaders, encouragement, diplomatic engagement to try to lower the tensions. That always helps. I think it can be helpful. Um, I think the Chinese again they do the same because it's in their interest and in their neighborhood, and they have good relations with both Cambodia and Thailand. So I think it's a question mark for the region where they do want to be responsible for their own affairs. They don't want to be coerced by great powers. They don't want great powers interfering in their internal affairs.
This conflict between Thailand and Cambodia is long-standing and very emotive for both sides. Do you think the pressure of from things like tariffs or from neighboring countries like China and Malaysia uh, will be enough to put a lid back on this very deeply, sensitive issue for people on both sides?
Well, it remains to be seen. They've got to work it out between the two of them. Obviously, it's a very deep-seated nationalist issue for both of them. There's a lot of resentment that goes back decades. It's not just a single point. It's along the border in many different areas. So they have to have communications and settle this. They do have a boundary commission. I don't think this ends things, but conflict is the worst time to settle disputes. You at least have to stop the conflict and then let cooler heads prevail, and hopefully there'll be dialogue to get to some kind of lasting, sustained, stable settlement of some kind.